I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
My administration will take all necessary steps to safeguard our citizens from this threat.
Hysterical xenophobia.
Giving Americans a false sense.
Is it accurate that if these steps had not been put in place, it could have been 2 million people dead here in the United States?
Yes.
No matter how hard they try to stop us, they can't. We built the greatest economy the world has ever seen, and we're going to do it again. Together, we're beating back the invisible enemy.
What the federal government did was a phenomenal accomplishment.
Through it all, the world has witnessed the unyielding resolve of our incredible American people.
Promise made, promise kept.
And I'm fighting for you, and I love doing it with everything that I have. And you know that. With the grace of God, we will win this war, and we will win this war quickly. And we will make America great again.
Trump campaign is now reaching voters online.
You are seeing the President of the United States. Look at the lines.
You join our movement.
A lot of President Trump supporters here.
Greatest movement in the history of our country.
As soon as Trump took office, where the gloves were taken off and you allow military leaders to actually win.
This is one of the first presidents in modern history, President Trump, that has stood up to China.
And he's truly a constitutionalist, and that he's listening to the voice of the American people.
You should vote for the person who promises you something and then delivers. That's why I'm voting for President Trump.
We've seen border crossings drop significantly since President Trump came into office. We know that President Trump is a man of his word here in Arizona.
I love this president. He walks the walk, he talks the talk.
And I think with Biden, you're just going to end up going in the wrong direction with him.
We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. We will make America great again.
Welcome to Team Trump Online.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Vote for America's Future. My name is John Pence, Senior Advisor to the Trump campaign, and I am delighted to be joined tonight by Danielle DeSosa-Gill, Benny Johnson, and Terrence Williams. Welcome to Team Trump Online, everyone.
Hey. Great to be here.
Awesome. Well, you all know we're at such a crucial moment in our nation's history. Leadership and the decisions made over the next few months could define the course of our nation, not just for the next 4 years, but for generations. It's why we need to re-elect President Trump. You know, Joe Biden's lack of vision, lack of leadership, and lack of understanding of the America First agenda is wrong for America, and it helped build a swamp that President Trump is now draining. Despite all these flaws, we're seeing a candidacy that's hiding in his basement, and we know that President Trump is continuing to fight for the American people. Terrence, you're hysterical online. I love watching your stuff. You know, I want to ask you on your thoughts on why Biden's even running and whether you think Democrats even think this is a good idea.
Well, first, I just want to say I'm glad to be part of Team Trump because Team Trump is Team America. But I honestly don't know why Joe Biden is running. He can't remember anything, and I honestly think he don't even know that he's running for president. I mean, the other day, the guy said that he mentioned that he was campaigning in 1918. So I have no clue why this guy's running. He don't even know what year it is, and we cannot have a president that thinks he's living in the year of 1918. I mean, I can't imagine. I really don't know. I'm really lost for words at this point.
Terrence, wait, hold on. To be out of respect for Joe Biden, he was in his mid-20s in 1918. And this is just, don't be ageist here, right? Like, just let the man, let the man live.
And let's be honest, there was a pandemic happening at that time, so maybe he really is confused. But let's remember, too, a recent poll said that only 39% of young Americans, us, are going to vote for Joe Biden. He has a real enthusiasm problem. In fact, despite his campaign's best efforts to keep him hidden away in the basement, it seems like every time Biden gets in front of a camera, there's a new gaffe, there's something that goes wrong. I mean, last night in Tampa, he did a virtual rally, and if you saw that introduction, there was just this debacle of Biden saying, hey, did I get introduced? Am I on? And that's how he was presented to the American people. I want to show a quick clip and then get your thoughts on it.
So workers don't have to leave work to be fired in order when they get sick to be able to continue to live.
So that is the Democrats' nominee for president. Danielle, what are your thoughts on this Joe Biden clip?
Well, first of all, it's extremely hard to follow him. Most of the time, he makes no sense. He regularly says statements that are just factually untrue. He completely misconstrues his sentences, and you kind of just have to assume that you know what he's talking about and replace things he says with other thoughts in your own mind in order to even put his sentences together. But I think even the thought of him leading us through a coronavirus recovery is just so disturbing, not just because of his mental state, but because of what he would do to our economy.
So true. We know President Trump built this economy up and he'll do it again. Let's take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more Team Trump online. Vote for America's future.
We choose truth over facts.
We turn now to that $350 billion fund to help small businesses and its workers get through the shutdown.
It will be up to Congress to restock it.
But Democrats blocking that move this morning.
They asked for $250 billion in 48 hours. I said, well, I don't think so. They objected, and I congratulate the Senate Democrats.
Speaker Pelosi, what are you going to share with us from your home?
Chocolate candy.
Thousands have been forced to wait for hours at food banks all across the country.
This is chocolate, and then we have some other chocolate here. We just got it restocked with the ice cream.
You don't want to eat up everything all at one time.
I can't do it much longer. I'm trying so hard.
We were, shall we say, enjoying.
Having to admit that, yeah, we're starving, and
I like it better than anything else.
Taping this segment, there are 22 million people out of work.
This specific program is about stopping job losses today.
This is hurting people bad.
Other people in our family go for some other flavors, but
right now it's survival move. You don't know where that next something else is going to come from.
I don't know what I would have done if ice cream were not invented. I just wonder.
Welcome back to Vote for America's Future on Team Trump Online. I'm joined here by Danielle, Benny, and Terrence. We now are going to move forward, thanks to President Trump's leadership, to safely and quickly reopen America. I'm often reminded of that Thomas Jefferson quote that the price of liberty is eternal vigilance. Right now, we have to be eternally vigilant on defending our freedoms and liberties while we safely keep America safe against this fight. Benny, you've been all over the country speaking with freedom-loving Americans who want to keep their neighbors safe, but they also want to get back to work. Tell us about those conversations.
Yeah, it's really remarkable. It's sort of like the Tea Party 2.0, John. It's really special to be able to see Americans once again fighting for liberty, a proud tradition in America, the tradition that built our country, quite frankly. And some of these leftist governors are doing more than King George did, right? Like when it comes to locking people down, we fought an entire war and created independence over a 2-cent tea tax. But if you go to a place like Michigan, where I've gone, or a place like Los Angeles, California, where I'm going tomorrow to cover the protests there and the Orwellian totalitarian lockdowns there by leftists, it really is something out of a bizarro world. If a couple months ago you had heard that drones would be flying above you, shouting at you to stay away from your friends, I mean, you'd think it'd be something out of a sci-fi movie. But we are going out, and a lot of Americans are going out because we have the freedom and liberty to do that. We have the First Amendment all the way through the 10th Amendment and all the way through all the liberties that have been given to us by God, right? Not by government, by our creator. Government's there to protect those liberties. And so with my show, Benny on the Block, we go out and talk to people about these kind of issues. We actually leave our homes, unlike Joe Biden, who is proving exactly how every student would be under a Biden economy, locked in their parents' basement. And so at some level, I kind of appreciate that Biden is practicing what he preaches, and it's proving how fun it is to be locked in your parents' basement to all the students and young people in America, because that's where young people were in the Obama economy, and that's where they'll be right back there in the Biden economy. So anyhow, moving along. Tomorrow we'll be going to Los Angeles, and we really look forward to speaking and giving real Americans a real voice, because that is our First Amendment, the ability to speak freely, the ability to assemble, the ability to arm ourselves. These are precious, precious American rights, and we defend them, and I'm proud to feature people who are defending them all across this country.
That's great. And, now more than ever is maybe a time to reread the preamble of the Constitution. We as Americans have been securing our welfare and protecting and defending the blessings of liberties for over 240 years. Yes. President Trump trusts us to do just that, which is why we're safely reopening the economy. Speaking of the economy, Terrence, and Danielle, Danielle recently graduating from college. Unemployment, as we gather right now, we're talking about over 24% unemployment in some states. We know that President Trump is going to put jobs back into this country. He did it once, he's going to do it again. But Terrence, when you speak with your friends, what are they talking about right now in terms of how America needs to rebuild and how President Trump can help them do just that?
Well, you know what, John? People are ready to get back to work, and people want to feed their families. People need to feed their children. They want to pay their bills. People want to go back to school. People want to live life. People want to live the American dream, and you cannot live the American dream on your couch. You can't do that. And I've had some friends that I grew up with, and I've been supporting Trump since day one. And I've been trying to convince them that President Trump is the man, the right person to be running this country. And I could never convince them. But now they are convinced, not because of me, because they see that President Trump is doing everything in his power to protect America, because they were listening to CNN and they thought he was a racist when he wanted to shut down travel from China to protect us from the coronavirus. And my friends called me and said, Terrence, you know what? They said, we called him a racist, but we were wrong, because he's been trying to protect us this whole time. It took a pandemic for some of my friends to realize that President Trump has been all about America. He's been all about you. He's all about me. So people are waking up, and I mean, so I think in November, President Trump is, I think a lot of people that did not vote for him in 2016 will be voting for him in November, because they see now he is a true leader, because a lesser man would have crumbled under this situation. No other president could have handled this pandemic like President Trump.
So true. He's putting America first every day, despite the criticism and what the pundits say. Danielle, why is President Trump the right person to lead us to more prosperity, security, economic opportunity?
President Trump, well, gosh, I mean, before all of this, we had literally the best economy we've seen in decades. We had the record low unemployment. I know we all watched the State of the Union celebrating so many accomplishments. And of course, the left wanted to either diminish these accomplishments or act like they were the result of Obama's legacy. But I think now we've seen with the coronavirus and how we will recover from coronavirus is that Trump is the answer. He's the one who's going to rebuild our economy. And I'm actually really excited for him to rebuild it, because then they can't give the credit to Obama. So no, if Biden were the one who was in office after coronavirus, we would all be in big trouble. And I think a lot of young people are realizing that when they're waiting for checks from the government, when they're not doing their summer internships, they can't get their job out of college, they're realizing that, wait, it's actually good if I get to start work soon so I can build up work experience. Because if you miss those early years in life, it's really tough later. So no, I think a lot of young people are starting to realize that President Trump actually is the answer.
Absolutely. This is about our future. We need 4 more years of President Trump. Let's take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
Ready to go?
This is a crisis.
This is no time for Donald Trump's record of hysterical xenophobia.
Biden's son inked a $1 billion deal with a subsidiary of the Bank of China.
China is going to eat our lunch? Come on, man. They're not bad folks.
Since the outbreak, the Communist Party has been mobilizing overseas organizations to buy local supplies and send them to China.
It is in our self-interest that China continue to prosper. What a beautiful history we wrote together. Banning all travel will not stop it.
The president is right. That travel restriction on China, as every public health official we've talked to said, bought the country time.
That was a very smart move right there.
Hysterical xenophobia. Xenophobia. I complimented him on dealing with China. I'm not going nuts.
Democrats destroy everything they touch. That's a fact. After years of failure as a result of their terrible leadership, our nation is finally winning again under President Donald J. Trump. Sadly, the Democrats and the fake news media hate my father more than they love our country, and they're doing whatever it takes to tear us down at the expense of the American people. That's why we need every American patriot to step up and join our fight. Just download our app to receive alerts from the Trump campaign, and you'll get the latest updates on our efforts to keep America great.
Welcome back. This is Vote for America's Future. I'm joined by some great Americans, young Americans who are ready to support President Trump and help him win 4 more years. Benny, Terrence, Danielle, why should a young American vote for President Trump?
Well, I mean, I'll start off by just saying that the birthright of every American is the opportunity that we have to enjoy our freedoms in this country, to live a prosperous life, to make your decisions. You speak with young people, and I speak with them by the thousands every single year, and you ask them what is the most valuable and precious commodity that they have, and it's their freedom, their liberty to go and do what they want, to work in a career, to try and to fail, to get the opportunities that have been given to them by the sacrifice of the generations that went before them. The hundreds of thousands of Americans who gave everything to make sure that they lived in the most free, prosperous, and roaring country that has ever existed, and it's so precious. Freedom is so precious. Young people want the ability to experiment, to go out and to try things, and you cannot do that on lockdown, and you cannot do that with no economy. If there are no jobs and there is no money flowing, and if your state is completely perpetually on lockdown because of leftists, then you're going to have a tough time living and finding your American dream. And so I would argue that a young person should look around the world and look at places that are complete totalitarian control and ask yourself, if you want the life of someone in Cuba, Venezuela, communist China, if that's the kind of life that you want, Orwellian top-down cradle-to-grave control where someone tells you that you're a widget and you can only do one thing at one time, then I would recommend going to those places and seeing them. I've gone to Cuba. Boy, it's a lot of propaganda out there about these places. See them for yourself. My message to young people would be, if you appreciate the liberty that you have to make your own destiny, then you should support President Trump, because a roaring economy and a free society gives you that liberty.
Exactly, Benny. You know what? I totally agree with you. And, you know, young people love money. Young people love money. And a lot of young people want to be like President Donald J. Trump. They want to be a business person. They want to have their own, they want to own their own hotel, their own store, their own this and their own that. They can't do that if we have socialists running this country. And our president is against socialism, 100%. So if young people, we love money, we all love money. So I say vote for President Trump because he's bringing jobs back to this country. And before this pandemic happened, young people were working more than they ever had.
Yes.
I mean, unemployment rate was at all-time low numbers we have never seen before. I was like, where did these numbers come from? You know, they came from President Trump because President Trump has been bending over backwards for the American people. He has been doing cartwheels, backflips, front flips for the American people. So he's fighting hard for us, and I think he deserves our vote. He has proved he deserves our vote. You know, promises made, promises kept. Simple as that.
Barack Obama said that the American dream is to become Donald Trump.
Exactly.
Back when he was younger, before political office, that was the American dream, right?
Exactly, and I heard that from him, and I took his advice. I said, you know what, you're right. So when Donald Trump announced he was running in 2015, I remember what Obama said. He said Donald Trump is the American dream. I said, well, guess what? I'm voting for the American dream. So thank you, Obama, for that advice.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah, the American dream isn't to be Joe Biden, right?
Yes, exactly. And you know what? Listen,
So true.
And I am all about the American dream, okay? I come from foster care. I grew up in foster care. My mom was addicted to crack cocaine, and my father, she had 9 children by 6 different guys, and she lost us to the system. So I was in and out of foster care. And guess what? I made it from the foster house all the way to the White House because the American dream is real. I went to school. I finished school. I mean, now I'm touring across the country. Well, not right now because of the pandemic, of course. I have over 2 million followers through all my platforms. I met the president. The American dream is real. And I want other kids, other people that come from situations like me to know that the American dream is real, but it's not real under socialism, which the president is fighting against. So please vote right. Vote for your future.
Absolutely. And for women too, Trump's done so much for paid family leave. I mean, even when we just think about all of the ways that Trump created so many jobs for women in the last 4 years. I mean, I know that so many young women I'm friends with want to see that continue. They want to start getting amazing jobs and being successful. And you can't do that on lockdown. Like you guys said, it's really tough to do it from home. So yeah, but I think even if we think about Joe Biden and just the amount of corruption we've seen with him, with Hunter Biden, we've seen his sexual assault allegations, his mental stability, so many things. I mean, you can't even contrast it with President Trump because the more you talk about Biden, the more you realize just like how unthinkable the comparison even is.
So true. I like to think that President Trump made the Republican Party great again by making it unequivocally the party of freedom. And as you all said, we love the American dream. We love money because we want to have a fair shot to pursue our dreams in this country. So true. The American dream and freedom are on the ballot. It's why as young Americans, we should vote for Trump. It's pretty simple. I just want to thank you all for joining tonight's Team Trump Online. For those of you listening that want to get involved, please download our app right now. Text app to 88022. It lists all the ways that you can help this president get reelected, and together we'll win and secure 4 more years. So thank you all and have a great night.
Are you looking for more ways to engage with Team Trump online? Facebook profiles are a great way to keep up with current events and connect with friends, family, and fellow conservatives. Starting your new page only requires a few easy steps. First, go to www.facebook.com. Then, under where it says sign up, enter your name, email, or mobile phone number, a password, date of birth, and gender. And finally, click the green sign up button and you'll be good to go. Now you can start sending friend requests to people you know, and you can like President Trump's page. You can also begin posting on your own profile page. And don't forget to share pictures, videos, events, or links from the next Trump event. Your Facebook friends will see this post and can like or comment on it. Facebook is just one way to engage with us online. Visit armyfortrump.com and sign up to become a digital activist today.